So what hard life lessons have I learned in my 3 years living here in Costa Rica? Stay tuned to this episode of Costa Rica Story, because that's just what we're going to talk about. So I put together a list of 15 life lessons I've learned here in Costa Rica, and some of them are specific to Costa Rica, some of them are specific to me, and some of them are just life lessons in general that you could learn anywhere. So let's begin. Number one, to some people, I'm just a resource. And this manifests itself in a couple of different ways with me. The first way is living here in Costa Rica as a gringo. There's a small percentage of people that look at you as somebody that has money and they want to try to separate you from your money. And I mean, it's a very small percentage of the people that I've encountered, but I definitely have encountered this sort of thing. I'll give you just a quick example of something that happened with me. I went on a date with a woman. It was maybe a short 3-hour date. We went to the beach. I picked her up, dropped her back off at her house. A few hours later, this was our first date. And a few hours later, she sent me a message, a text message, asking if I could give her $300 for rent. And I just kind of laughed and said, no, I can't do that. And she was a little bit surprised. She's like, why can't you help me? I don't understand. And I said, I don't think we're on the same page. So that was the last time we went out. So you may possibly run into that kind of thing. So another way where I'm looked at it as just a resource has to do with a YouTube channel. And I first need to point out that 99.9% of the people that I've encountered with my YouTube channel have been nothing but supportive. But there's a small percentage of the population that just sees you as a resource, and when they get what they want from you, they will discard you. Before I started doing paid consultations, people would ask me questions, and I'd spend a long time answering questions. Sometimes somebody would send me a particularly long series of questions, and I'd answer them. And about 50% of the time back then, people wouldn't even acknowledge that I answered their question or thank you. And of course, half of the people did, so I'm thankful for that. But once I started doing paid consultations, I weeded out the people that were just out to use me. When somebody pays you money for a consultation, they pay attention, they respect your time. So that was part of the whole deal for me. So both here in person in Costa Rica and online with my YouTube channel, I do once in a while encounter people that just see me as a resource. But this is a great opportunity for me to thank everybody that's come and done the Uvita Day Adventure and used my consulting service. I really appreciate your support and all the encouragement you've given me while you were here with me. So I really appreciate that. Everybody's gone above and beyond. Muchas gracias, amigos. And of course, a huge thank you to everybody that's been watching this channel, subscribing, sharing the videos. We just hit 3,000 subscribers here, so we're getting up there. We're getting up there, people. Muchas gracias. Number two, the creepy crawlies always win. By creepy crawlies, I mean everything from the little tiny ants, to the snakes, to the spiders, to the scorpions. Everything that's here in the jungle. Sometimes it'll make its way into your house. Sometimes it'll make its way into your car. Sometimes it's going to bite you wherever you happen to be. But the one thing that I've learned is you can keep the creepy crawlies at bay, but eventually they're going to win. So the only thing you can do, you have to have safe practices. You need to, like for instance, in your kitchen, you have to keep a clean kitchen, because if you don't, the ants are going to come and they're going to take advantage of anything that you leave out. I like to say the ants are a lot like bears. You have to treat your food the same way. If you're out in the woods camping with bears, you have to keep your food away from the bears, and the ants are no different. So in your house, you have to keep everything sealed up and no dirty dishes overnight and things like that. But the creepy crawlies always win, and it's their world. We just live in it.
Number 3, I'm surprised by the people from my home country that don't stay in contact, and equally surprised by the people from my home country that stay in contact, that I didn't think would stay in contact.
So when I moved to Costa Rica from the USA, I was really surprised that after a while, I really didn't hear from people that I thought I would hear from as much. And then there was other people that I didn't think I'd hear from that I did hear from. So that came to me as a little bit of a surprise. It's just one of those weird things that happens when you leave the country. And with social media, it's very easy to keep in contact. But it's when you leave that world, a lot of people, you just fall out of their radar.
Number 4, the people you spend time with matter.
Like anywhere else, the people that you spend time with are going to affect your life here. So it's of course it's good to surround yourself with like-minded people and also positive people that are encouraging to you. Not people that are always complaining about how everything here is horrible. Because there's people that complain about everything in the USA, so they move to Costa Rica. Then they come to Costa Rica and they complain about Costa Rica. I don't like to be around those types of people. And I always say the people that you first meet when you come to a place determine a lot of what's going to happen in your life here. Because one person will introduce you to another person, and that's how you build your network of friends. So choose your friends wisely.
Number 5, procrastination kills.
So this is a huge one for me. When you're self-employed and you schedule your own day, it's very easy to put things off and think to yourself, well, it'll be better if I do this in 2 days. The situation will be much better for me to do this, so I'll wait on that. And you end up kicking the can down the road. There's an ancient saying that says, you could be great today, but instead you choose tomorrow. Which effectively means that if you keep kicking the can down the road, the thing is never going to happen. You're never going to get it done because it's always tomorrow, always tomorrow. So yes, procrastination kills.
Number 6, growth happens outside of your comfort zone.
So a lot of times there's things that we have to force ourselves to do. With me, believe it or not, the guy with a YouTube channel, I'm a pretty big introvert. And sometimes it's hard for me to do, I call them reach outs, where I have to, call somebody up, cold call somebody about maybe doing a video with them or some kind of business deal with somebody. It's a little hard sometimes for me to do that, but that takes me out of my comfort zone. And usually when I do that, I'm happy that I did it afterwards, because it usually brings pretty good results when you step out of that comfort zone.
Number 7, it's important to enjoy every moment.
It's important to enjoy every moment and not wait for things to be perfect. Then you can say, oh, I'm enjoying my life now that everything's where I need it to be. You have to enjoy life as you go. Life is a journey, not a destination. You need to enjoy the trip.
Number 8, change is inevitable.
And that's just a fact of life, that change is always going to be there. And it's very obvious here in Uvita. In the 3 years I've lived here in Uvita, there's been so many new buildings that have gone up, so many new businesses. This place has changed a lot in 3 years. So with change, there's usually both positive and negative that come with the change. You just need to make the best of the situation and accept the change, because it's inevitable. As they say, the only constant in life is change.
Number 9, we're loving this country to death.
And as often the case when humans love something, They just want to immerse themselves in it, which is okay. But when you take something like Costa Rica, it's a sensitive environment here, and as foreigners coming into this environment, we're doing a lot of building, we're doing a lot of deforestation and things like that, and I don't really have an answer for it because we all want to have a place to live. I'm in a house right now, and this house didn't exist at one time. At one time, the monkeys lived here. This was like the jungle where the monkeys were, and I'm in a house living here now. So I can't throw stones at other people that want to build their dream house here in Costa Rica. Like I say, I don't have the answers, but I think it's important to be aware of the fact that we are loving this country to death. Maybe do some positive things for the country, plant some trees, do things for your community. As President JFK once said, ask not what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country. And that applies to Costa Rica. Do something good for Costa Rica.
Number 10, not everyone is going to like me.
And believe it or not everybody likes me. And fortunately for me, the majority of the people that I've met have liked me and have appreciated the channel and have told me so. But I get a certain segment of comments from people that I just must rub them the wrong way. So there's a certain segment of the population that don't like me, and I'm okay with that. And when I do a video, I do a video first for myself, secondly for the subscribers. But when I do a video, it's because it's something that I need to express. A lot of times people don't like that, and sometimes people straight up just don't like me, and they let me know in the comments. And I screen all the comments here, so if you could see some of the comments that I get from people, you'd probably get a big kick out of it. Maybe I'll do a special episode about crazy comments I've got from people.
Number 11, I'm not going to like everybody I meet.
And no, I've discovered that there are some people that also rub me the wrong way. There are certain people I just can't be around. There's certain qualities of people. I really value a person that has a lot of humility. And of course, there's racist and sexist and all the other ists. I don't like those kind of people, so I usually avoid them. And I also tend to avoid people that are negative. I just don't like negative vibes. As I mentioned before, it's just something I don't need in my life.
Number 12, lack of money can flush all your plans down the toilet.
So this is kind of an obvious one, but it's a hard lesson to learn when you're experiencing it, that lack of money can just flush your dreams right down the toilet. So coming here with a plan, coming here with a good amount of money and a plan for how you're going to live, it's really essential for surviving here.
Number 13, life is not perfect. You need to manage your expectations.
I think a lot of times when people move to Costa Rica or visit Costa Rica, they think of it as a utopia. And while Costa Rica is very beautiful and the nature here is fantastic, it's amazing, it's not perfect here. There's litter here sometimes, and sometimes there's litter on the beach, sometimes there's litter on the streets, sometimes there's pollution coming from smokestacks like the palm factory as you come down past Capos. And there's pesticides used here by commercial farming that it can't be used in the U.S. I mean, that's one reason why you go to farmers markets, to get the stuff without all the junk on it. But no, it's not perfect here, and your life here may not be perfect. Things may not go the way that you want them to, and you may have to make some adjustments. So life isn't perfect. Manage your expectations.
Number 14, things in life don't just happen. You need to work at it. You need to make it happen.
In life, you have dreams, you have goals, you have aspirations, and you just can't expect things just to fall into your lap. Sometimes you have to do the hard things to make your dreams come true. As I mentioned before, stepping out of your comfort zone, working hard, being dedicated, being smart. But you have to work at it. Things aren't just going to happen. If you just sit there and wait for things to happen, you're going to be sadly disappointed in most cases.
Number 15, nothing is more important than your health.
So as that old saying goes, if you don't have your health, you don't have anything. And I've been doing my best. I've been doing a lot of working out, and I'm still working so hard at eating, but I tell you, I probably have the worst eating habits of anybody that you'll ever meet. So this is a lesson I've learned, but I'm a work in progress. We'll see how this goes. But yes, without your health, you don't have anything. And also staying healthy can be a costly thing, but you can't neglect yourself. For instance, I've got some issues with my teeth I can't really afford right now, but I'm dealing with it because they just need to be taken care of. And that's another reason why, as my previous point, you need to have money for emergencies, like they always tell you, plan for stuff. And that expression that when you fail to plan, you plan to fail.
And the bonus lesson learned is value your time or nobody else will.
So one thing I've learned is you have to protect your time like it was money, because it's more valuable than money. There's a lot of people here that are retired or on vacation, and they assume that you're either retired or on vacation. So I've gotten to the point where I'll walk away from a conversation sometimes. There's people they'll be talking about themselves, and they just want to hear themselves talk. And I'll just have to excuse myself and say, I'm sorry, I've got things to do, because I value my time. So another way that I realized this, as I mentioned in a previous point, was that I spent a lot of time early on in my YouTube career here answering people's questions, and a lot of times I'd get no acknowledgement that I answered the question. But once I started charging for consultations, it all turned around. People respect your time, they value your time. If somebody's paying you money to talk to you, they value your time. So you weed out the people that are just there to use you, and you find the people that are actually, want to work with you. So that's been a little bit of an eye-opener for me and a learning experience, a very hard lesson learned.
So that's my list of 15 hard lessons that I've learned in my 3 years here in Costa Rica. So if you'd like to come to Uvita and do the Uvita Day Adventure with me, go to CostaRicaMove.com. There's a plethora of things we can do, from hiking out to the whale tail, to going to the Uvita waterfall, to going to a hidden waterfall, to going to Playa Ventanas. There's a plethora of things we can do. I also do consulting for those coming to Costa Rica. I can connect you with a real estate agent or an attorney for your immigration. Just go to CostaRicaMove.com for more details about all of that.
I love this.
sunsets at Aracari. Another thing we can do on the Uvita Day Adventure. But that's all I've got for this edition of Costa Rica Story. Make sure you like if you liked it, subscribe if you want to, but most importantly, share this video and this channel with a friend. Hasta luego.